It's only sport with Martin Devlin on the platform. Brought to you by One New Zealand. Let's get connected.
117, the N81 test for the All Blacks. He was there in Wellington watching that game. I was there watching that game as well. Justin, welcome back, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. Good to hear from you.
Well, overall, I played 9, won 6, lost 3. I'm giving the season so far a B. Now, when I say that, a B is nothing to celebrate for the All Blacks, and a lot of people might think I'm being generous, but I thought there was enough in that last performance against the Wallabies to suggest there was significant improvement from the first test against England and Dunedin to that one in Wellington. Do you agree?
Oh, I do. I think they're absolutely trending in the right direction. But obviously we can't deceive everybody that's been listening to you and I over the last couple of years and be hypocrites and say that we don't want them to win every test, can we? So there's no way we're going to give them an A. It's just what after that, considering we have dropped test matches, the rating that we do give. I'll probably concur with you on a B. I think at the end of the day it could have been a B+, getting close to an A because, you know, the world champions in their own backyard are the benchmark at the moment, and either one of those two tests we could have won. So we were very close. But dropping that Argentina test in Wellington was catastrophic. It really had an effect on those test matches in terms of getting the balance right. So, yeah, unfortunately, a drop-off in performance was incredibly costly. But, again, I'll reinforce, I do think the team is trending the right way.
Where are you happy? Like, who are the players or the areas or the positions in the team where you think, right, we're actually rock solid in that particular bit of it?
Yeah, well, look, I think there's healthy competition now. There certainly is up front. You know, no doubt that, you know, Cody Taylor's playing probably some of the best rugby he has ever played. The emergence of Tamati Williams, you know, again, Ethan de Groot was back. Tyrell Lomax is playing brilliant rugby and Tossie getting his opportunity at the weekend. I think up front we're pretty solid. Equally, the performance of Tupu Vai and his emergence as a world-class lock has been really pleasing to watch. You know, he had to be put into that position with Tui Pilotu being out and obviously Whitelock not being there anymore, and there was some real void there for us to fill, and I think he's done an admirable job of that. In fact, I think he's done a good enough job to retain his place, regardless of Tui Pilotu being fit, and that goes to show the measure of how far he has come. The loose forwards, again, I'm still not convinced on, but Wallace Satiti obviously has been a shining light to come through some very tough test matches as a youngster and play the way that he did. And then obviously we're always going to discuss the balance of the back line, of the rest of the back row. The back line, again, look, we've had different fullbacks, we've had basically different halfbacks, we've messed around in the midfield a little bit. Rieko Ioane is probably the only one that's really had a solid, consistent selection in that area. So, look, I'm not sure that I really feel anywhere in the back line anybody has solidified their place apart from him and possibly Will Jordan, but is that at fullback or wing? There you go. Is that a good enough summary?
I think so. I'd add a couple of those. I think Geordie Barrett is cement at 12. I think he was brilliant. You know, I just want to go back to the loose forwards when you're talking about that. See, Ethan Blackadder was brilliant, wasn't he? He came on big time in Joburg. We haven't seen him since, and so we can add him to that. At the same time, Papali'i looks as though he's dropped down the pecking order a bit. Do you take Sam Cane and TJ on the end of year tour or not?
Yeah, it's a really valid question and a tough question to try and put into perspective, because you've got to balance it out in two ways. Like, you've got to balance it out in the fact that even if Cam Roigard comes through unscathed and is fit, he's very low on minutes to be entering into test matches of the calibre of England, Ireland and France. I'm not saying that he's not capable of doing that, but equally he's still very green. He's got minimal test matches under his belt. And then do you take two rookies? Equally, Cortez Ratam has been really, really good, but he hasn't played much, and Noah Hotham's only had one test. So, you know, do you exclude TJ Perenara? Should you need somebody, if Roigard or Cortez Ratam, who are the two incumbents at the moment, were to fall over? And I would say the same for Sam Cane. Like, you know, if our back row was to have an injury, say, to Ardie Savea, you know, is it worthwhile having Sam Cane there? Because of not only his experience, his toughness, and his teammates love him. They love being him involved. So look, I'm all for us getting to a point where we are evolving and giving players opportunities, but we've got to be careful about giving away test matches and doing so. So I would hesitantly say take them, but don't use them, only unless necessary.
Caleb Clark, I want to make mention of as well, because I think I love it when somebody actually loses that jersey and comes back and regains it, reinvents themselves. You can tell he's a different body shape at the moment. He's playing differently, isn't it? And it just gives us so much more strike power when he's on the field.
The game's more balanced, isn't it? Look, we always knew that he was an awesome athlete, fast, powerful, and able to beat defenders, and when he gets some momentum up, he's really hard to stop. Obviously the blitz defence was causing him issues, so he had to make sure that he evolved his game, in terms of attack. If you want to sometimes beat the blitz defence, you've got to have the ability to cross-kick. And what you then need is your wingers to be very good aerial and be able to dominate that space. Well, he's come a hell of a long way. To a degree, he's arguably the best wing in the world. If not, he's in the top three at taking the ball in the air. So the way that he's adapted his game there. Now, look, again, we all know his attacking prowess. The one thing with Caleb that worried me a lot when I first saw him, and then when he went through that form fluctuation, was always his defence. He had a tendency to gravitate in, to be hooked in and make poor decisions. He has come a mile in that regard. If you want to know what I'm talking about, watch the first 20 minutes of the test match last weekend and 2 try-saving tackles he made. I think both of them might have been on Tom Wright. At least one of them was, and the other might have been Ikitau, who tried to get outside him. He's the second last defender in, and both times he went in at the hips and put them on the ground. And that's where he has got to. He's a really well all-round balanced winger. Good on him. He deserves the accolade he's getting because he's worked hard.
Justin Marshall is with us. Justin, when we beat Australia, and they're ranked 9th in the world, and we put 33 points on them like we did, they had a great opening 20 minutes. Package all of that together, how excited are we meant to get? Are we meant to look at it just purely as this is the All Blacks, how much have we improved? Do we have to actually counter that by saying, well, Australia just aren't very good at the moment? How do you want to sort of pigeonhole that at the end of it?
I think hopefully, whilst we've been now dealing with more lateral defence with what we encountered against Argentina, and then we had to combat South Africa, who did give us more time at Ellis Park, and subsequently we scored 4 tries. And I knew there was going to be a reaction from Rusty. I was saying as much when I was in Supersport to their media in South Africa, and absolutely they did. They just went up a cog or 2 with their defence against us in Cape Town, and we couldn't score a try. They again started to narrow the field and cut us off and put spot defenders on our ball players, and all of a sudden we struggled. So in answer to your question, Australia defend very lateral and slightly back offish, so did Argentina. Does give you a false sense of how much freedom and space you've got and how good your attack is, because England, Ireland and France, to a degree, but particularly England and Ireland, will come at us very, very quickly, very hard, with line speed, and blitz us and really put question marks on our attack. That will be the true test. So in a nutshell, yeah, good. Easy to score. Not easy, but well done in scoring the 33 points against Australia. But it'll be a lot more difficult. I'll rephrase it. You need to be a lot more decisive. Your decision-making needs to be a lot better. And you need to be massively more accurate when defenders are coming at you at that pace. But we can do it. We have got the skill set. We've just got to make that shift.
It's Only Sport with Martin Devlin on the platform. Brought to you by One New Zealand. Let's get connected.